the last chapter of Howard Zinn's People's History of the United States would bother you, I think, if you read it. It's called The Coming Revolt of the Guards. And he wrote this in like the 80s and like the early 80s. And he just says, he basically lays out like, look, the only reason like there hasn't been a revolution in America is because there's a middle class that's gotten enough to serve. It's gotten enough from capital to like serve as a buffer from like the people that are truly fucked over from like just burning it all down. But one day there's going to be a middle class revolution because they're going to lose all those benefits. The middle class is going to be constricted. They're going to all of a sudden not get houses and healthcare and all that shit. And they're going to join with the working class and burn it all down. And I'm like, bull fucking shit, Howard Zinn. Yeah. Sorry.
I'm with you. Here's two things. One, I've read enough. Like one of the weird writers that I read is John Kenneth Galbraith, like the liberal economist.
I love that.
He's just entertaining. It's not like I read it for truth, but like I read it because that dude has a writing style that you never see anymore. Like
right.
His sentences go on forever, and you're like, oh my god, bro, come to this point. But he's got an English sarcasm too. He wrote several books on just that topic, and he published them well into the 90s, and that's like a really 80s 90s like thesis. So I'm excited when you say that. And then the other thing that it makes me think of is when you do those, when I read those books on like the Cold War and then like this like Soviet oral histories of communism, like one of the things that like was like kind of true from the Soviet side back then with like the Beatles and the Blue Jeans was that like the middle class Soviets like wanted better cars, wanted hot water, wanted refrigerators, didn't want to share kitchens, didn't want to share bathrooms, and like wanted like a technologically innovative society that was like indigenous to Russia, to the Soviet Union, but it wasn't reliant on like importing and then smuggling technological imports and other like commodities into their country that like felt like modern. And so like the thing that the Soviet Union like lacked was that it didn't have like a consumer society. Like they like remember when Khrushchev came over to the United States and like saw a typical middle class American kitchen and was like, where the fuck did this come from? all of you live like this? And like, of course, not everyone lived like that. But there was like that dream, that Leave It to Beaver dream, like kind of was part of the internal meltdown of the Soviet system beyond just like whatever Reagan did or whatever you want to think about Afghanistan and all that kind of shit. There were internal contradictions to the Soviet system. Its economy was sclerotic. It didn't really have a very innovative economy. The Russian economy still doesn't. And so like the point that I'm making there is when you look at China, part of the reason for its like success is ironically that its most successful entrepreneurs, all those men who started all those businesses that are now EV businesses and tech businesses, the ones that have been purged and the ones that haven't, they were all promised shares, billions of dollars. Like there's a whole oligarch class there that's like melded up with the Communist Party that they're constantly trying to balance out. And my point that I'm making there is everyone's always like, dude, yeah, it's like there's aspects of it that are socialism and communism, et cetera, but there are other aspects of it that are quite obviously capitalistic. And that's been the key to longevity in the country, has been extreme growth. And they've produced a consumer society that is both the mirror and the envy of the United States. So like the point that I'm making there is when you go back to these Gen Z comments and then you say like, oh, what do you guys want? A fucking house. $600,000, a fucking car. Guess what? They sound like people on the inside of the Soviet Union. And guess what? They also they sound like people in China who are like, I wanted a 2-bedroom apartment and I can only afford this 1-bedroom apartment. Like they want more shit for themselves. There's this ego component that's at the heart of all of these societies. And it's just crazy that it's at the heart of our capitalist culture. And it's crazy it's in the heart of the Chinese communist culture. But the point that I'm making there is Zinn doesn't fucking get it. And neither does John Kenneth Galbraith.
Right.
Those middle class people are going to hang on to whatever fucking rewards and privileges and like whatever you want to call this current thing. That's what they're aspiring to. They're hanging on to every last fucking piece of that shit.
Yeah.
And so
dude,
it's not going to crumble down in a romantic way. Is
right.
the way that I'm